All right, so you've got the coach leveled, and then you're going to want to come back here to the main control panel. This controls the entire coach. All right, in order to operate the slide out system, you either want to have the generator started or be plugged into shore power, which I'll show you later. The reason for that is this is a 30-foot slide out, and you need the maximum amount of power going to those motors that move the slide out. There's only 2 small little motors that move the slide out. All right, so you want to have the maximum amount of power going to that. So the way you start the generator is just hold down start, wait for it to turn all the way over. Once the light turns solid red, you can go ahead and let go of the start button. All right, now we don't start moving the slide out right away. The reason for that is it takes about 30 seconds for the generator to start producing enough electricity to power the entire coach. Once we see the microwave turn on, which is right behind us, once we see the microwave turn on, we can go ahead and move the slide outs. Okay, the microwave just turned on, and we can go ahead and hold down slide extend. Okay, and we keep holding it down. We don't stop holding the extend button down until the wall has stopped moving, and we hold it down for an additional 5 seconds once it's stopped moving. That helps the control panel sync up the corners, and that way we know that the wall is evenly out. That way when we go to pull it back in, it's not going to try to pull it back in crooked and it gets stuck. So it's really, really critical that we keep the button held down for another 5 seconds once the wall stops moving. Okay, so the wall has stopped moving. I'm still holding the button down, and then we can let go. Okay, so this is what the coach looks like when the slide out is completely out. Now coming back over to the control panel, you have several different buttons here. The water pump is going to pressurize all your water lines so that way you have running water. This can stay on while you're driving. It can stay on pretty much the entire trip. The only reason you would ever turn this off is if you don't have like shore power and you're not running the generator, because this pulls electricity and you drain the batteries, or you're hooked up to city water. Okay, so we've got the water pump on right now. We've got water heater. We've got natural gas and 110. Unfortunately, I had a renter that turned both of these on at the same time, and the 110 is actually burnt out. So you'll only be able to use the gas. So just flip that on. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes to heat up the water. You only have a 6-gallon hot water tank, so you're not going to be taking really long showers. It's more of a combat shower. You know, you get wet, lather, turn the water off, lather up, turn the water back on to rinse off, because it's only 6 gallons of hot water. So you'll go through that fairly quickly. But the nice thing about the gas is it does heat it back up very, very quickly. All right. Now, with the hot water heater, I normally only keep that on when you absolutely have to have that on. You know, 10 to 15 minutes before you need the hot water, go ahead and crank that on. That way you save propane and you're not burning through propane. These up here are informational levels. You've got your natural gas, which is about 2/3 filled. And this is a 22.5 gallon propane tank on this coach. So 2/3 propane on this coach is about 16 gallons of propane, which is more than enough for a week-long trip, even a 2-week-long trip. Because the only thing that's going to be using propane in this coach is your hot water heater, the furnace, if you happen to use it. You're more than likely not going to be using it in the summer, and your stove. You've got your battery levels, your fresh water tank, which I try to keep as empty as possible during when it's just sitting here. But when you come pick it up, if you want, just let me know and I can fill that up for you. Then you've got the black tank and you've got the gray tank. Those actually need to be emptied from the last renter. So we do want to make sure that those are emptied when you bring it back. Otherwise, there's a $100 charge for me to do it. I don't like dealing with other people's stuff, so I appreciate it if you can empty it back out before you bring it back. There is a campground called Wayne County Fairgrounds. You can go there. It costs $10 and you can do it yourself. They're really nice ladies there, and you can take care of it. It's super easy to get in, super easy to get out, and it's really, really convenient to my house. All right. So this is your main control panel. This is going to control 95% of the coach. Right here is your thermostat for your front air conditioner and your furnace as well. So if you want the AC, just flip it to cool. And now notice it's already on cool, but we're just going to rotate this down. And the reason that it's not, so we're going to have to reset it. And this is a good thing to show you if you want to. This is a good thing to show you. The reason the AC is not turning on right now is because it was previously on. This is normal. Okay, what happens is you'll turn the AC on, and then I had the generator running, and then I shut the generator off with the AC running. There's capacitors inside those AC units that take about 3 to 5 minutes to dissipate, and then they'll naturally turn back on. So it's not broken if this happens to you. If you go to turn it off, if you turn it off and then try to turn it right back on, that's normal. It's just a fail-safe system in there to help it from overextending itself. All right, so that's normal. There's nothing wrong with just leaving it on and letting it kick on normally, or you can just go ahead and turn it off and then wait to the 3 to 5 minutes as well. If you want heat, just slide to heat, and then slide it to the temperature that you want. Okay. And then you have the auto fans as well, or you can keep the fan on at all times. If you want the fan on at all times, just slide it to on, just like your normal thermostat. This is obviously an analog, not a digital, but it's very, very self-explanatory.